So today is the day. Splitgate 2 beta just launched, the basically infinite beta, really actually the soft launch of the multiplayer as a whole. So when I promised you guys I'd be doing some Splitgate content to talk about this game, I was super excited about this release. I got home from work and I was about to jump in and be like, yeah, let's play some Splitgate. And the thing is, I can't. I literally can't. I jump in and it's this. The unexpected error occurred. I try to retry and it just goes back to it. And that's because, well, it seems like the servers are actually taken down. Now, I saw this tweet like a few hours ago and I thought, okay, well, by the time I get home from work, it'll be fine. I get a chance to jump in and play. Like, nope, still offline. Basically what they're doing is they're putting the servers temporarily offline for like any server issues and purchasing issues and things like that. So it's, I can't play the game. So I can't tell you exactly from firsthand experience. But from what I've heard from people who've played the game so far today, that seems like a little bit has changed since the alpha, but nothing too crazy. And I think it's more just because this is much more of a soft launch of the multiplayer. So then once you get a chance to jump in and play the beta, it actually doesn't reset your progress. You get to keep all your progress you make in the beta for the full release of the game. So you kind of see where I'm getting at, where this is much more of a soft launch rather than like a beta. But it's not like 1047 Games didn't add anything new with this beta for you guys to jump in and enjoy. The big thing when it comes to content being able to play it is their map editor, which is called The Lab, where you get a chance to jump in and basically do Halo forging, but in Splitgate. Actually, in this exact video right here, we see examples from prominent forgers from Halo, like Unique, who does amazing content, Duquesne, as well as showcased within this video, to be like, hey, this is the crazy stuff that you can pull off within the lab when it comes to Splitgate, which there was a significant community in Splitgate 1, because if you guys remember, there was actually a bit of a jab that 1047 Games did to Halo when they released their Forge mode. I don't know how many of you guys remember this little banger of a tweet right here from KFC Gaming back when they were doing their thing back in 2001, saying triggered an entire gaming fan base with one sentence, and then Splitgate actually responded saying Splitgate will have Forge mode before Halo Infinite. Sorry fans, for Halo fans, we love you too. But I mean, you ain't wrong. And the Forge mode within Splitgate 1 was pretty good. If you guys remember also, like when Forge actually launched like a year after the launch of Halo Infinite, I know it's been so long since we had to talk about this, but gotta re-jog your memory a little bit. Let's get back into the beta though. We also have the new maps of Core, which we haven't had a chance to play yet, and also the classic map from Splitgate 1, Stadium, which is probably one of my favorites, but obviously it's been revamped a little bit to kind of give it a little fresh coat of paint, a little bit more of an exciting new experience. You got the large scale 24 player mode, which comes with actually the new maps of Drought and Fracture, and they actually renamed it instead of having multi-team Portal Warfare to just Onslaught, which sounds so much better. And the new power weapon of the Borealis. And yeah, and you have like your battle pass for the beta, which is going to be carrying over to the main game, your founders pack, so if you want to spend a little extra money to support the game and stuff like that, just like little bits of like customization and some extra little bits of things you can kind of pay for within the game. But pretty standard stuff as it is like a beta, right? And this is a free-to-play shooter. Kind of comes expected when it comes to this style of game. Now, as someone who played an extensive amount of the alpha, which came out for us guys, I actually got a chance to play test it a little bit early for you guys to get some first impression videos. I have a whole 30-minute long dissection about my impressions of Splitgate and what the changes from the previous game and how I think this is going to stack up against the competition out there. And the competition, well, I think this year when it comes to FPS games, might not be the craziest, right? You still have your Call of Duty. It sounds like you might have Battlefield maybe at the end of this year. But Splitgate, I think, actually is sitting pretty well when it comes to having an opportunity to really have its time to shine within the gaming sphere as a whole. Especially with the delay of GTA 6, people are going to have some extra time at the end of this year. Especially as someone who's a somewhat now jaded Halo player as well. I think this game's going to scratch that itch if you're just looking for a game that can play like Halo, but also be able to be something different. This game's going to definitely fulfill that experience, where I think it does kind of blend that line between Call of Duty and Halo when it comes to gameplay. I mean, when I talked to the developers about Splitgate directly, they mentioned about how they really wanted to have that kind of classic shooter experience from like those Call of Duty days, those classic 360 Halo days, things like that, but also kind of give it with a modern flair. And then I think also give it some unique touches to it, especially when it comes to like the power weapons are super fun. This one I'm holding right here, which I believe is a split stream if I remember correctly. This thing absolutely shreds and is a complete blast to play. But I do have to say that within a genre of games, right, where like there's so many established free-to-play shooters out there that not actually many people are playing new games nowadays. It's still going to be very difficult to try to get people to hop over from whatever game they're playing right now to whatever game they want you to play, which would be Splitgate in this case. Because so many people out there have been playing their established shooters for so long. I'm sure many of them are also free to play now at this point, that people have spent, so much time and effort to get good at these games, and also financially as well, where if you have them back out of a game or try to switch over from something, that means that they're going to be leaving behind like the potential hundreds of dollars that they spent over the years of microtransactions, say in a game like Apex Legends or Call of Duty or even Halo, right? But I think Splitgate definitely has an opportunity, man. When I did a quick search right here saying the most anticipated FPS games with 2025, right? We got Battlefield 6, which we've been hearing some more things about that. Call of Duty, like I mentioned, we had Doom Dark Ages come out earlier. They have like Killing Floor 3. I've heard that thing's pretty much a nightmare. Borderlands 4 could definitely take away some people's time away. Outer Worlds 2, which definitely could happen as well. But you can see how, like, for a shooter side of things, it's not really that stiff a competition, besides like the anticipated stuff like Battlefield and Call of Duty would be the big ones out there. So really, Splitgate has a solid opportunity to make waves and have an opportunity to really stand out amongst the crowd, which I really hope that to be the case for Splitgate too. Just because, like, not just because I was like a content creator, got a chance to play the game early and stuff like that, because I just really like what the team is doing as a first-person shooter. They mentioned like their skill-based matchmaking, right? Where I literally asked the developers straight up, like, is there skill-based matchmaking? Is it strict? How you guys implement it? And they do have some form of skill-based matchmaking, but it's definitely much more lenient than, say, like you've seen like for Halo or especially for Call of Duty, where they kind of just make sure that, like, if you're an entry-level player or somebody maybe with like a disability or something, or people who are just new to shooters or something like that, you would definitely be matched against similar type players, but you won't be matched against players with like high super skill level guys who can just dunk on anyone at any time, which is exactly what you want to have for your skill-based matchmaking system. Because I think there is still some need for a system like that in a game. But when it comes to like having a shooter like this, the big thing is just accessibility and giving players what they want, and what they want is just a casual, fun shooter that you don't have to stress so hard over to get better at, or to make sure that like you're playing the most like optimal way possible, right? I think with each class, it gives you some unique, fun ways you can jump in and play the game, and also it gives you a little bit of form of creativity. And I think it's just overall, it's just a really fun game, and I think it has a true opportunity to really stand out, where people can jump in and really have fun with the game. So I'm super excited to see the soft launch of this game, right? The beta, if you want to call it that, but also see what's coming along in the future, especially when it comes to the labs, right? How are they going to implement these, I'm going to call them forge maps, lab maps, into matchmaking in some kind of capacity? How are they going to integrate that community? They definitely supported them a lot back at Splitgate 1. I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing with Splitgate 2, if not even more. And you can see that there's definitely interest in the game when you look at just the Steam DB stats right here. Like, yeah, peaked right around 10,000, 12,000 players on Steam alone. Don't forget this game's also going to be on PlayStation and on Xbox, which I'm sure some of you will be like, oh, that's such a low number, oh my gosh. But really, when you think about it, compared to like that big blow up that they had back during the summer, I think it was 2001, right? It peaked at 67,000 people playing at one time on Steam. And this is just on Steam. They didn't have console available for the game as well. So that's a pretty good launch right here. Nice little soft launch for the multiplayer side of things. We'll see how it plays out when it comes to the full launch of the game. Again, like, your beta progress will not reset, which is a really nice thing. A really different change of pace for most shooters out there. And so I'm excited, man. I just want to jump in and play. I just wish I could. Come on, 1047, help me out, or get the servers back online. I want to jump in and play this game, man. Now the big question is, okay, the beta lasts forever pretty much till launch, but when is launch going to happen? Well, they don't really state here exactly. But you would have to think that, okay, you're going to have this beta open up for a while, probably just early test builds to get some feedback and see if there's any kind of bugs or major changes that need to be made before the actual release of the game. So I would have to think like, not too long from now, probably like sometime, probably during the summertime would be my guess, would be the perfect time to launch Splitgate 2. Because there's going to be that downtime. We're waiting for the anticipated games, like the next Call of Duty game to come out, which is rumored to be Black Ops 2.0 kind of game. And also potentially Battlefield 6, which are definitely going to come out this fall. So you need to release it at the right time. And I think opening potentially the game at full during the summer months, I think would be the optimal time to do it. Again, we'll just have to wait and see. And once we get that information, for officially, I'll definitely share with you guys here on the channel. But if you guys like this kind of content, you've made it to the end, make sure to leave a like, or comment, all that kind of stuff. Let me know who the real ones are. Let's leave a red square in the comment section. Let me know who the real ones are that made it to the end of the video here, guys. If you made it to the end, also like, subscribe. It's always appreciate it. Until then, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully I get a chance to play some Splitgate tomorrow or something, but peace out.